This is the Seller Process Podcast, where we talk about the best systems, processes, and SOPs for your Amazon business so that you can regain control of your time, build up your team, and scale your e-com empire.
Hello, entrepreneurs. If you are looking to give a boost to your Instagram presence, but you're not sure how to grow your account, increase the number of followers, or create a raving and loyal audience, then this episode is for you. Our guest today will share with us a very little known system to take your Instagram game to the next level. I'm joined today by Zach Benson, the founder of Assistagram, a company that empowers influencers and Fortune 500 companies to connect with real followers in their target audience. Zach has helped influencers such as Robert Kiyosaki, Russell Brunson, and more cut through the noise to accrue millions of new followers on Instagram. Throughout his career, Zach has shared stages with powerhouse speakers such as Tony Robbins, Sylvester Stallone, Grant Cardone, Damon John, and Gary Vee, sharing his expertise on Instagram growth. That's awesome. And I'm super glad to have you here, Zach. How are you doing, man?
Hey man, so happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me. Excited to share some knowledge today.
Of course. I super enjoyed your talk at the latest conference we were both in. We were speaking at the Cross Border Summit in Chiang Mai, and I was listening to your presentation, and I said, "Oh man, this guy has to come to the podcast." So here we are. I'm very happy that we're having this talk today. And you're obviously a super expert on Instagram. So I wanted to start with kind of a provocative question because I know you have a cool answer to that. So isn't it right now everybody's talking about TikTok, especially e-commerce brands, because there is TikTok Shop. So lots of people there are lots of great stories about TikTok Shop. So my provocative question for you is isn't it too late to join the Instagram bandwagon now that TikTok is taking so much market share?
Yeah, that's good insight, good question. I mean, you know, right now, yeah, TikTok is hot. I mean, Instagram is not as hot, but still it's owned by Meta, right? So they're constantly creating new things behind the scenes that will open up the semi-organic growth opportunities like once again. I mean, you've seen the past, like what they've done, right? Creating the stories and reels and all these different features. So I'm pretty close with the team at Meta, and I kind of know some like insider secrets. So I would say that right now, I mean, you focus on both, right? Because two is better than one, right? A lot of people think like, oh, like for example, in their business, I should just have people reach out to me. But no, you have to also reach out to people and do outreach. And there's multiple ways to create revenue and monetize. So I would say still you need to have presence on both.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, both are valid options. But you said you have secret insider knowledge about Instagram, so that's why you're able to give such great results to your clients. So I'm really curious to dive into those. So first of all, like why most of the audience it's e-commerce sellers, Amazon sellers. So why should they focus on Instagram? So let's talk just on Instagram now. What results they can expect if they do things right?
Yeah, like I think right now with Instagram, there's a lot of these hub pages, like these repost pages that are like in makeup and beauty and fitness and travel and all of these different categories. So what I like to do, one strategy that we like to do is we like to collaborate and sometimes even acquire these pages that are in the niches with products that we're trying to promote and sell. So, for example, let's say that somebody has like you know, some cool like beauty products. So I have my team reach out to all of these pages that are repost hub pages. I'm curating and posting some of the most viral, like cool makeup hacks, beauty hacks. And we asked them, hey, how much do you charge for a post? Or would you be willing to sell your account? Like, and we make an offer. And when you acquire these assets, you create like this network, this empire of accounts. And the more firepower that you have, the easier it is for you to grow and reach more people and sell your more products. And so that's one strategy I like, because some of these accounts are going for pennies on the dollar. I mean, if you're really, really like good at negotiating and figuring out a win-win and finding the right people, a lot of these accounts are like run by kids, teenagers, 15, 16, 17, 18 years old, that have accrued hundreds of thousands, millions of followers on these pages, and they want a way out. Kind of like baby boomers, right? They've been working on this business 20, 30, 40 years. Not so much here with these kids, but they're like, oh, I want to go to college, or I want to start a new business. And so you could offer them a reasonable price, like depending on the size, engagement, the reach, demographics, where the followers are from. You could find a really solid page that's like around 10,000, 20,000 followers for like $500.
Wow, that's very cool. I didn't know about that. So are you going like direct to the contacting the page owner, or is there any kind of a marketplace or somewhere where you can find them?
Yes, usually I like direct DM. That's pretty easy because all of these pages are super active. And yeah, usually the response rate's pretty high. But think about it. If I have an account that's called Best Hotels, and it's posting about the best, most beautiful, luxurious hotels in the world. I mean, that's such a good name. Every hotel in the world will want to be on Best Hotels. And there's so much traffic, like at like Best Hotels or the hashtag Best Hotels. It has millions and millions of posts, right? So once you acquire a good page with a good name and good engagement, um, you're going to be able to reach out and collaborate with other influencers in the space, because they also want more reach. So if you're wanting to collaborate with a creator that has maybe you have 100,000 follower account, they have 50,000 followers, and they're in the same space, they're gonna want to collaborate and create content for you, in exchange for more exposure on your page. And in return, you get creative content, you tap root into their audience, and it's a win-win. So I'm always thinking about little win-wins and how I can create a relationship with these micro, macro celebrity influencers by doing an exchange. And so this is one strategy that we've been using over the years that still works today. It's co-collaboration, right? It's think about it, yeah, if you want to get like people that have big reach on a podcast, because in return you're hoping that they're going to share it out to all of their followers and their email list. So it's about creating these little wins every single day that compound to big results. That's why I recommend trying to buy a page and build up your network,
Wow, yeah.
because if you think about it, like on all platforms, whether you're trying to grow on IG or LinkedIn or Twitter, I mean, all these platforms, right? Even if you're trying to grow your personal brand, it's with engagement groups, right? Getting bigger accounts than you to like and comment on your post multiple times throughout the day. And that's going to help you boost your content up and get more reach and get more followers. So how it's
Interesting.
working.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that in a second, because I know, so you're sharing with the audience a guide of that includes lots of hacks and best practices to grow your account on Instagram. So everyone will be able to download this guide through our website, thesellerprocess.com. Find this episode, and you will find in the show notes or in the YouTube description. So we'll go to those hacks in a second. I just wanted to end this topic here because I think it's very interesting. Not many people have heard about that before. So once you identify this account that you think it can be interesting, or it's related to your niche, so you can potentially acquire it, what would you say it's a fair price to pay? Do you have like any numbers? You said before, like $500 for 10,000 followers? Is that like an average? So we just multiply that for how many followers they have?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that's kind of like on the lower end of the spectrum. Like that's minimum between for like a good quality 10,000 to 25,000 page. I would say between like $500 to maybe $2,000. It really just depends on the analytics and impressions reach like of the account, right? Are the followers from tier one countries like US and Canada and UK? Does the account have a good name? Does it have a good username, right? Or is it some weird name? So I'm taking in all of these different factors, but I would say like if you're a good negotiator and you can again create a win-win where it's a trade, maybe this person is interested in selling because they want to get into e-commerce and they don't know how to monetize. But you know how to monetize and you know all about Amazon and e-com. So you can partner with these people as well because they have all these different assets and hundreds of thousands of followers. And I think that could be something really cool for you guys because you have this other knowledge and excuse me, and experience that these kids don't know. And then you could in return negotiate better deal price. You could create a win-win knowledge trade.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, I'll give it a try to see if I find anything interesting. For example, in my niche, and everybody listening will, I'm sure, will have a try as well. But one challenge I'm thinking on top of my head is they might have got so many followers because they know how to create content or engaging content, or maybe some of those content are like very personal, like it's the influencer itself that's sharing their life. So I'm thinking like if I'm going to purchase that account, that page, I'm not going to be able to create the same type of content. So should I avoid those kind of accounts that have that kind of personal content, or I don't know, is there
Yeah,
anything else you can do?
yeah. So that's why I'm recommending that you guys buy these pages, these repost pages that are like reposts of the most viral trending content about that topic on Instagram. And then also when I make an offer to these accounts and buy these accounts, I'm like, you have to give me and my team a video of like how you are currently operating and curating an account and finding all of this content. And so it's like you buy the account, but along comes like the training video, and then they coach. This was in the past. This was like 10 years ago, but they're like, hey, we'll actually help you and your team and assist you guys until you're good to go.
Yeah, right. It makes sense. Yeah, kind of passing an SOP on how to operate that account. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you see, I'm so ignorant about Instagram that I wasn't really aware of this reposting account. So yeah, that's my bad. All right. That makes more sense if it's like a reposting account because it's more generic than, let's say, the genuine content that it's created by influencers. Okay, okay, that makes sense. So I want to dive deeper into the Instagram SEO. Like, what should we know to master the Instagram algorithm in order to get our account more visible?
Yeah, so Instagram's algorithms are super smart, always changing all the time. So, what worked before, like the follow and follow techniques and automations and like story viewers and these tools and these things that people created, like will now get your account compromised. You got to be really careful with like automation on IG, but like how you reach the top, like still hashtags work. Hashtags are how one of the ways, there's many ways for your content to get discovered, but one of the ways that still works is with hashtags. Now, what we found out is that less is more. So use between like 5 to 10 hashtags per post max, and start with big hashtags that have like if you're in beauty space, start with hashtag beauty, but then find hashtags that are smaller and medium size, meaning find hashtags that have between like 50 to 100,000 posts on them, 100,000 to 250,000 posts on them. And create multiple sets of hashtags and rotate them throughout the week to see which ones perform the best. So that's number one. Second thing is username like SEO, right? Because you all have like a handle name, username, but in the name section, you can actually edit your profile and type in up to 2 to 3 keywords that you want to rank for, and that are like just keywords that you want to show up, and try to hit that first and second page search results. And over time, as you're doing these engagement groups and you're doing these guerrilla tactics and liking, commenting on your target niche, like you're gonna start to be seen. So I like doing those two things, and then also have like just, yeah, like I said, like a VA, just manually interact with people, kind of like guerrilla tactic strategies, constantly like just doing hundreds, thousands of little manual actions every single day, because that helps to a certain extent too. Just because when people get a notification and they get a like your comment or message, I mean, social media, they're gonna check it fast. Like it's 80-90% open rates when you get a DM. So I'm trying to figure out ways to like constantly just be out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you say with your VA reaching out, doing manual work, you mean like DM, sending direct messages to
Um,
people?
More like just liking and commenting and creative like comments and leaving those on people's pages. But yeah, I mean the two main things are the name SEO trick and then the hashtags, but that's all in the guide, and then that's all in the growth hacking guide and like step by steps on how to do that.
Okay, for sure. So we might not have the time to go deeper, but you guys can find everything in the guide. So what about end with the best, your best growth hack tactics that you share? You mentioned before automation is not, it's kind of borderline thing, right? But do you do any of that? And do you have any other growth hack tactics that you can share?
I mean, still like people are using the follow unfollow technique where, but they're doing it all manually, right? Where they're just following as much accounts as they can in their niche, and then interacting, engaging with them in hopes that they follow back. And then the ones that don't follow back, they unfollow them. I mean, that's a classic that's always been working. It still works today, but it's just don't use automation. And really, like what we're doing is, yeah, just a combination of engagement groups, reels, using all of IG's features, just that manual interactions and time that you spend on it. They're going to reward you with more like goodness score points and bonus growth points. So
So
it's
sorry, that's something I wanted to go a bit deeper on to is the engagement groups, because it's something that I've heard the first time by you. So how do you find these engagement groups, what they are, how can we leverage them?
so so first I go to I type in a hashtag, right? And I see or I type in the location or something, and I just see the top um accounts, the top posts, the most recent top post and the top post of all time. And I basically, back in the olden days, yeah, like when I first started, I'd reach out to these accounts and I'd be like, how are you like consistently hitting the top post, and are you in engagement groups? That's what I hear everybody's using to grow their accounts and get more reach. And so you really want to try to find these hub pages or these top creator accounts, personal accounts, and ask them directly via DM, like, hey, are there any engagement groups that you can get me into? I'm willing to pay you.
Mm,
Just keep it simple as that. And if they say yes, then I say, okay, I'm willing to pay you like $20 per engagement group you can get me into. And so engagement groups on Instagram are you and 14 other people, and everybody's liking and commenting on each other's posts several times throughout the day. And when you get enough engagement from accounts that are bigger than you, right? Like if you get a like and a comment from an account that has 1 million followers, it's gonna it's a lot of firepower. So when you get a lot of those, it's gonna boost your post to the top, and that's how you grow.
wow,
So
that's very interesting. Yeah. Okay. So we find them basically. These are kind of secrets, the secret groups that goes around between among influencers. Basically, they should have access to
Yes.
these groups. Where do they
Yeah.
sit? Like where in which platform are these groups?
They just take place usually in Instagram DM, or some of the bigger ones are like huge like Telegram groups or like like that. But a lot of them are just on Instagram
Okay.
DMs. Yeah, multiple groups, multiple chats.
Oh, I see, like a chat. Okay. I thought it was a group, like you mentioned, for example, Telegram. I've heard that there are many groups on Telegram that do that, but yeah, obviously makes more sense if it's like a chat with multiple people on Instagram. Okay. The final words about automation, is there any tool or not just automation, but is there any tools that you use that you recommend for better to leverage Instagram better?
Yeah, I mean, so my company, Instagram, that's like the cool thing. We don't use any tools or automation. Really, it's just straight up human power and our network of influencers. I'm really against any automation and tools because that's why so many people's accounts get disabled and compromised and deleted forever, is because they're using a lot of automation and they're going against Instagram's rules, like violating their terms. So just really, you got to be really careful with that because there's a lot of stuff out there. Um, but just, yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's good advice because yeah, we obviously don't want to compromise our accounts. So it's good to know actually that your agency is doing things just manually so that clients' accounts are not compromised. Right. So obviously, it's a very difficult topic to implement. I mean, these are some of the hacks that people can use. But in case they would like your help or would like to learn more about you, share what your agency does and your contacts, just in case people would like to reach out and use your services.
Yeah. So you guys, thanks for listening. And you'll be getting those guides. And then also, I'd like to give your community access to my newsletter, which is gonna, yeah, give you guys the newest, coolest tips and tricks on social media, travel, lifestyle investing is. So I'm always traveling, right? So now I'm in LA. I'm doing about 200 nights a year in hotels. And so I have that newsletter going. And my company, Assistagram, we can do everything for you, connect you with the biggest and best influencers, do all the growth hacking monetization for you, totally done for you. So you can check out Assistagram. Personally, reach out to me as well if you have any questions. I'm happy to give you some more advice. Just because Gian's a good friend, he's amazing, doing great things. So yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Zach Vacay. Would love to connect.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Zach. So we'll put all these links in the show notes. People will access the guides that you shared with us. So guys, you can trust Zach because he's handling the accounts for Robert Kiyosaki and Russell Brunson. So definitely he's in the big leagues. Thank you again very much, Zach. I know you're super busy, so I'll let you go. But it was a very insightful and a very interesting conversation. I'm sure we could have some other conversation later in the future, again in this podcast. Thank you again.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, guys, remember the key to success is to emulate the best. So, take home the insights that Zach just shared with us. Go download the guides at thesellerprocess.com or in the description of the YouTube video and put in practice what you've learned today. I hope you liked the content of this week and I wish you a productive day. Bye. Hey, entrepreneurs, I hope you enjoyed the episode and learned something from the interview. If you're serious about creating systems for your business, automating processes, and building up your team so that you can transfer the tedious daily tasks in order to focus on more high-level strategic tasks and work on your business and not in your business, I've created a guide for Amazon sellers named Capturing Systems and Creating SOPs that you can find at thesellerprocess.com/systems ebook, where you will learn how to leverage systems and SOPs in your Amazon business so that you can accomplish more by working less, optimize your time, automate and delegate tasks, and reap the benefits of being a true business owner and not simply an operator in your own business. Go download the ebook at thesellerprocess.com/systems ebook and start implementing all the tips and insights that I share with you. And leave us a review or a comment to let us know how the content we are sharing here is making an impact in your business. And have a productive week.